From Oshkosh Community Media Services, this is Oshkosh City Cable 10 and broadcast on 101.9 FM WOCT Oshkosh.
The Oshkosh Senior Center presents Senior Savvy.
Hi, welcome to Senior Savvy. I'm Jane Wells, your host for today's show. Senior Savvy is brought to you by the Oshkosh Senior Center, where it's our mission to enrich the quality of lives for adults ages 50 and older. And one of the ways that we enrich lives is through our programming and the activities and things that we have to offer. And a little bit later in today's show, we're going to share about a brand new program that's coming up to the Oshkosh Senior Center that we're very, very excited to be bringing on board. And so you're going to learn a little bit more about that and how you can become involved. I want to thank you if you're listening on 101.9 or watching on City Cable Channel 10. Today's topic is COPD, and I'd like to welcome my guests, Maria and Bill. So they're going to share a little bit about COPD and what they're doing to help people who are battling this. So hi guys, welcome.
Welcome.
All right, well, COPD, but how about telling us what it is?
COPD is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Affects the lungs. It comes in two forms. There's the bronchitis, which is going to be the inflammation of their bronchi, and then there's the emphysema, which is going to be the loss of elasticity in they call them alveoli. So it's going to be harder for them to let the air out and inhale, take a deep breath. Sure.
So I kind of jumped a little bit. So Maria, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us who you are and how did you get involved in all of this?
Well, I actually have worked for Lane Care for a couple of years as which is a respiratory company, and as part of my just trying to help the community and different things like that, I decided to get certified through the American Lung Association to be a facilitator and run better breather groups in the area. Okay. I came across the opportunity to help with the one in Oshkosh because one of the members, Mike Cowerton, who was the founder of the group, asked me to help out in running the group and things like that. And
so why don't you introduce yourself, young man, and tell us a little bit about you.
Bill LaPointe, and I was diagnosed with COPD about 15 years ago, and I've been involved with the COPD Better Breathers group for about 4 years now.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about the support group in just a bit. But I think what we need to do first is kind of lay the groundwork for what COPD is, because I think that there are people out there who might potentially have it and not really even be aware of it, or that there's resources and help available for them. So what I hope we can do is kind of educate just a little bit about COPD and some of the causes of it and what we can do if we have it and where to go, and then we'll go into the support group and things like that. So, all right. So
some of the symptoms of COPD are the cough, the long-term cough, with or without mucus.
So is that different, like when you have a cold and you get a really bad coughing jag and you can't stop? Is this cough a different cough, or sometimes
it's not? What do you think, Bill?
It's a deep cough with a lot of phlegm.
Okay.
Sometimes it's very hard to get that phlegm out.
And so you're coughing, your body's coughing and coughing and coughing, trying to get that out. But
it's pretty persistent.
So then drinking NyQuil or sucking on a throat lozenge isn't going to help it, is it? Where if you have a cold, sometimes those remedies help, but not with COPD.
Through the proper medication, you can get help.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to understand the difference between the COPD cough and
it's a chronic. They are like, which is some of the reasons that sometimes it's it takes a while to get diagnosis. Some people might think, well, I'm a smoker, and it's my smoker's cough, or I'm kind of getting older now, so this is just the way it is. it's harder to breathe because I'm getting older, but that's not necessarily, you know, it. You know, you think
Sure.
about your history, like, oh, were you a smoker? Are you a certain age? Different things that could indicate that it's more serious than just a chronic cough.
Okay.
And other symptoms are fatigue, shortness of breath, frequent respiratory infections, which is something that Bill said that he had gotten, was just a lot of bronchitis and things like that. And
So when you say a lot of it, how often in a year or a season or what?
Definitely every winter I would be on different medications for bronchitis, and throughout the summer it'd be occasionally, but not as bad.
Okay.
Other
So, all right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's just irritating, you know.
Sure, sure.
And without the right doctor, like we couldn't get a
Right.
good diagnosis.
Well, and I mean, I've had bronchitis a couple of times, and you know, when I've gone to the doctor, it's been who's ever on immediate care, and so you know, I could see where if you were prone to that, and you know, you go to see this doctor here, you go to see that doctor there, there's no consistency at all in, you know, what you're doing with in terms of that care. Because for me, I think, oh, it's just, you know, it's just a bad cold. I need an antibiotic to shake it.
It's really important to be an advocate for yourself, you know,
Yes.
and not just put it off. If you know you have, you know, some of the causes of COPD are, you know, the smoking, secondhand smoke. So even
Right.
people, you know, you think about people who have worked in places where there was a lot of smoke, factories, environmental irritants. There's actually even a hereditary form of COPD, which is called
amazing.
alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. So that's another type.
Sure.
That comes on a little bit younger, usually in their, like, you know, 30, 40, something like that. However, if you're, you know, in that middle age group and you're having that chronic cough all the time, you're getting tired and things like that, you need to be an advocate for yourself and insist on going to the doctor and insist on getting what's called a spirometry, and that'll tell people what their lung capacity is and things like that. Did you
Okay.
get that done, Bill? And
Well, I had a hard time getting it, but a lot of the biggest thing is you're going to have to accept it yourself that there is something wrong with you besides just
Right.
a common cold.
Right. And so let's go back to the smoking, because COPD is actually the #3 killer in the U.S. And more women are being diagnosed with COPD. And in some of the things that I read, they can pretty much trace it back to the 60s, when tobacco companies specifically targeted women to start smoking. And so talk a little bit about, you know, what role smoking does play. And if you've smoked for a long time and you quit, does that make a difference?
It makes a difference. I smoked for 45 years, and I quit. And it
So what would you
improves.
say to that young 16-year-old or that young teenager right now who
That-
wants to be
it-
cool?
It just hurts to see these kids running around trying to act cool with a cigarette and all that.
Right. And what they don't know is that the addictive properties in that are so strong that it does become difficult to kick the habit, doesn't it?
I think that you know, the damage that smoking causes, although it's reduced, you know, if you were a long-time smoker, maybe I smoked, you know, for 10 years in my 40s and then I quit. You still need to look at that history, even though you quit, you know, 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
That that could still be what's
Right.
going on with you.
Right. Okay, so we talked about the types, treatments that are available. We have just a couple minutes left. So you have it, then what? Then what happens?
Well, there's several different options. It depends on what stage COPD is in 4 stages. So that first stage could just be having an inhaler or something like that. Then, you know, the second stage may be looking at an inhaler, possibly a nebulized medication. This is actually what's called a portable nebulizer, and this is a way to administer some of the nebulized medications like albuterol, ipratropium, some of the long-acting bronchodilators. But you know, it's come a long way from nebulizers back when, you know, these are
Right,
a lot smaller,
exactly.
a lot more portable
On the side,
for
sure.
people who are on the go and
Right.
things like that.
Right.
Other things are just, other treatments are, you know, eventually oxygen therapy. Sometimes just when you're walking around, sometimes at night, sometimes all the time, it depends.
Right.
There's pulmonary rehab,
Right.
which helps with exercise,
Right.
and then the support groups as well.
Sure. And is there a cure?
There's not a cure
No.
for COPD.
There's not a cure. And so if you think you might have it, what do you do?
If you think you have COPD, go to your doctor. If you think it's more than just that cold, or maybe you keep going in for the antibiotics, insist on getting the breathing, you know, that breathing test,
Sure,
the spirometry done.
And is that a test that's readily available?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. Okay. And is it an extensive test, or is it just a matter of breathing into something?
No, it's
It's breathing, but they give you a good exercise to breathe with.
Okay. Okay. So again, just start out at your primary care, if nowhere else, and say, these are the things I'm presenting with, or these are the things I have. I'm feeling like something's not quite right.
right.
I want some tests done.
Yep.
Right.
And another big thing I say is, you know, if you're a, you know, caregiver or son or daughter, and you see your mom or your dad or something like that too, also being an advocate for them and
Sure.
bringing them on in and things like that
Right.
too.
I'm sure at first the shortness of breath, you think, man, am I out of shape? I mean, that would be my first thought is, man,
definitely.
I got to get out there and exercise because I
Yep.
can't breathe that, you know, that well anymore. And, you know, little do you know that there's something else going on inside that needs some attention. Yeah. So, anything else real quickly, like that you would like to wrap up about information about COPD, and then we're going to go on into the support group that you guys are running and facilitating.
Just that, you know, a lot of the treatment options available out there are meant to, you know, improve quality of life, and just because you have that diagnosis doesn't mean that, you know, things are going to get, you know, worse and things. There's
Right.
a lot of things that you can do to keep your quality of life up and stuff. So that's why the different things that your doctor tells you to do, the, you know, exercise groups
Sure.
and the support groups are really important.
And follow through with
What do you
them,
think?
right?
Find a doctor that you're comfortable with, that will answer your questions, that will take the time.
Right.
A pulmonologist is important, you know, finding a doctor that specializes in your lungs, so
Right.
a pulmonary doctor,
Right.
and somebody that you can talk to is very important as well.
And like you said earlier, you have to be your own advocate. You have to educate yourself, and so you know the questions to ask and all those kinds of things. All right, so I would imagine that getting this diagnosis is life-altering. You know, even if you're feeling something coming on, to actually hear, hey, this is something serious. It's never going to go away.
What do I do?
So that's where you guys come in, right, to help other people who are dealing with this. So tell us a little bit about the group that you're running and things like that.
Well, Mike Howerton started this group about 9 years ago, and he was pretty successful with it. I've been involved with him for about 4 years now.
And what's the name of the support group?
Better Breathers Group of Oshkosh.
Okay, Better Breathers Group of Oshkosh. That's kind of hard to say. And where does it meet?
Down at Senior Center in the South Facility.
Okay.
It's the second Tuesday of every month, and from 1 till 3. Usually it's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. We have nice presenters. We have a little snack and visiting time.
Right.
For
Right. And so, Maria, you touched briefly before about how you got involved in it. So, so the support group was started, and then somehow in there you became involved, right?
Yep.
So talk a little bit about that.
I was actually a speaker for the group previously, and Mike Howerton asked me to help out with the group, and so that's kind of how I got involved. And when Mike called me, he found out that I was certified through the American Lung Association, and so I had some good knowledge on topics,
Sure.
and I luckily had a medical advisory team from Affinity that is helping me as well with speakers and things like that too. So
wonderful.
which is great because
Right.
I have, you know, somebody in pulmonary rehab. I have
Right.
pulmonary, you know, the pulmonary nurse practitioner there, and all these people who are helping me. So it really takes a team
Yes.
to help. It's not easy, you know, to get the word out on the group and things like that. So
Right.
I appreciate this opportunity because hopefully we can reach out to people who you know, think they have it. The group
Right.
isn't just for people who have COPD, but maybe they think they have it, and maybe they
Okay.
have questions, or maybe their spouse or loved one has questions too. So we encourage anybody to come that is affected by COPD.
Okay. So it doesn't matter if you have a firm diagnosis, or if you just think maybe something's not right, and you want to kind of ask somebody who has it. Or what about, you know, if I'm a caregiver of somebody who has it, am I welcome at the support group?
Definitely,
then?
and we have many educational resources for people who come to the group. I have, you know, COPD books and things like that for them, and the topics that we go over include everything from med management to the traveling with COPD or oxygen to you know, exercise and tips and all different kinds of things. We'll have sponsors that come in and talk about little things that can help them. You know, for example, we had the person, you know, from the Accessible Bath Solutions come and talk about keeping people safe at home.
Sure.
And then providing refreshments for our members and snacks and things like that too.
Sure. Bill, do you want to touch a little bit on the history? I know we did just briefly about the history of the group and how it got started, and just, you know, what were the goals, or what were those people who initially started it, what were they hoping to have it become?
Well, it was going pretty good when I got involved with it. So we just tried to teach each other what in the easier way of living. A way of living that we can cope with.
Right, right. And so it started with somebody having an idea or being diagnosed with it, and then wanting to connect with other people who have it as well. Is that correct?
It is a nationwide outfit to begin with, you know. And
the Better Breathers
yeah,
is.
and then they have different outfits. We have one in Appleton. There was supposed to be one in Fond du Lac, I think.
Okay. But for Oshkosh,
but
this is the only Better
Right.
Breathers support
it's
group.
the only one in Oshkosh. And everybody's welcome.
Okay.
The more the merrier.
So what have you gotten out of it and your involvement with it?
I've learned how to, well, like that exercise is very important. Your eating habits are important. It's a complete way of change of life, really, because you got.
Yes, I'm sure.
You want to stick around as long as you can.
Exactly. And I'm sure to be in a room with other people who are struggling with some of the same things is helpful, at least. Or, you know, if you different stages, and, you know, you can say to somebody, you know, I remember when I was first realized that I had COPD, and some of the things that you felt, and share that and help them to process that.
Because now, you know, I've been diagnosed with a mild case. You know, we have people in there that are severe. You know, that are on oxygen full time.
Sure.
Thank God I'm not on oxygen yet, but I still would like to know as much as I can to prepare myself.
Exactly. So you might have answered this, so I'm sorry if you did. How long ago were you diagnosed? About
15 years ago.
15 years. So that's a long time to be living with this.
You know, you're diagnosed, the doctor, you don't know that much about it. The doctor gives you some medicine. You figure, well, I'll take my meds when I feel down, which doesn't work. That's why they have the prescriptions. But at that time, there was no support group. There was nobody to tell me any different. And now that we have it, I'm glad.
Right.
Because I did learn that medicine is very important.
Okay, so the support group meets at the Senior Center on the second Tuesday of the month at 1 o'clock. And if I want to come, do I need to call you ahead of time? How much is it to join? Or how does that all work?
We don't require that you have to call, you have to register. It's nice to know if a new person's coming only because of the refreshments and things.
Sure.
But, I mean, that don't stop from coming if you haven't called or registered or things like that. Just come. And also, there isn't any fee, but there's a donation if you can or are able, you know, of a couple dollars, but it's not required at all. And our next meeting is actually July 9th.
Okay.
And this is a good one because this is going to be a little more of a social one where we're going to be having a picnic and potluck.
Oh, fun.
So
sure.
our members are going to be able to bring, some friends and different things
Sure.
and things like that to the group.
So it sounds like there's not only an educational component, but a social component
Yes.
to it
Yeah.
as well. Exactly. So if I'm new to the group, is it going to be really scary when I walk in that door that first time?
No.
Or
No.
No,
We're all friendly. We don't bite.
Awesome.
no, we try to, everybody's very welcoming and try to make it very comfortable and, just provide education and also like a social outlet for people who,
Right.
maybe have been having COPD for 15 years or somebody who just got,
Right.
diagnosed and they got out of the hospital last week,
Right.
so.
Or the spouse of somebody. You
Yeah.
know, we have just
Well,
about.
they're welcome too.
Yes, exactly. Because you need to know what's all involved in the care and,
Right.
and how
How it
how's your
affects
lifestyle
them.
going to change? We have just about a minute left to wrap up. So anything else you'd like to say about the support group or the goals of it, or for that person sitting at home just not sure if they should be coming or not coming? Words of wisdom.
Well, just come in and we'll make you feel welcome.
Great.
Give you what knowledge we can share, what we can.
Sure.
Direct, if we can direct or, I can help and Bill can help and.
Right. If
things
nothing
too.
else, direct them towards
Right.
resources and things like that. Exactly.
There's a lot of resources out there for help.
That's wonderful. And I got to sit in on the gentleman who was talking about traveling with air. I never, that's not on my radar right now
Yeah.
because that's not in my life, but my goodness, there's a lot to be thinking through and planning for that. So there's all those little pockets of information that I'm assuming are just so helpful to get if you're a part of that support group. And then of course, the companionship of being with somebody else who's sharing the same
Right.
walk in life. Exactly. All right. Well, thank you both for attending and sharing and teaching us a little bit about it, and for most of all facilitating the support group and being such a great advocate for it. Because I know in the end what you're wanting to do is let other people know there's help out there for them. Exactly.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. All right. So I told you earlier we have a new program coming up at the Oshkosh Senior Center, and two of my co-workers sat down to kind of chat a little bit about it, but it's called Friend to Friend. And I'm hoping that you'll enjoy their conversation and that your interest will be piqued, and perhaps you'll come on down and check it out. So here's the interview with two of my co-workers about Friend to Friend.
Hi, I'm Carrie Autumn, Program Coordinator at the Oshkosh Senior Center. And today we're here to talk about our new and exciting program here at the center. It's the Friend to Friend program. Along with me is
Julie Kiefer, Fund Developer from the Senior Center. And we're excited to announce that we received a grant from the Ladies Benevolent Society through the Oshkosh Area Community Foundation to start a program that we call Friend to Friend. And that program is to help seniors who maybe don't have that other person to hang out with and go to the movies or go out to dinner, or
right.
What are other things that you do sometimes and you don't like to go by yourself?
Well, going to any concerts. We have the PAC right here, not that far away in Appleton, and
In the Grand Opera House right here in
yes,
Oshkosh.
correct. And do you really want to go alone?
No.
You're always thinking, who could I go with? And that is one of our goals, is to connect seniors with those similar interests. Another thing, I'm just thinking, we have the water here. I'm sure there's a lot of seniors that still love fishing or just going out on the water and
Maybe going out on a boat
right.
or going water skiing.
Exactly.
Can't do that by yourself.
No, you need somebody to go with you.
That's right.
And also reading, talking about the latest book, or like you had said, going to the latest movie, and you can always get that better deal if you buy the big tub of popcorn.
Right, and then you can share it.
Share it, right.
Exactly.
Another goal is, we've talked about other goals that we want, is to connect people with similar interests, but what are some other ones again?
Well, we also think that there are plenty of people who were really active at the Senior Center for a long time, and sometimes due to some health issues or maybe caring for a spouse or someone else in their family, maybe they can't come as often anymore, but they'd still like to get that phone call from someone or talk about things that are going on. And so we'd sure like to find some volunteers also who would like to do some of those kinds of things.
Right.
Still connect, because just because you can't physically come here doesn't mean you don't still want to be active and participate.
Or that we're still not thinking about you also.
Right.
I mean, we realize that the senior population is very large, and there's going to be those people, like you had said, things come up, they have to take care of their spouses, or they can't their spouse and they lose their spouse, and they're just not ready to come by themselves. So we're going to, connect those people to help them come back here.
So how are we going to start to find these people and get them connected?
Our first event is going to be in July, on Tuesday, July 23rd. What we're going to do first is bring everybody together. That's kind of always a great opportunity to meet people. So we're going to have, it's going to begin at 1 o'clock. We're going to do an icebreakers. Kind of like, I'm not sure if you've ever done them, but find somebody who has the same birthday as you.
Yeah, those are fun to do.
Let me tell you, June, best month ever.
Guess what mine is? Christmas Eve.
Oh.
Very few.
That would be a
Special
good
people. Special people have that birthday.
Yes. So that would be one connection you would have right away with somebody. So after the initial icebreaker, then we're going to have everyone fill out a survey. What do you like to do? I mean, what are some of your hobbies?
I like to go to the movies, go out to dinner. That would be fun.
Sure.
To find someone else to do that with. Book club.
That's right. So we'll have them fill out a survey, just, their interests, what they like to do, where are they looking to find somebody to do those things with. Mm-hmm. Then after that, we're going to have ice cream. July is National Ice Cream Month, so why not bring in some ice cream?
Yeah, and a full topping bar?
Of course.
Okay,
Gotta
sounds
have
great.
Everything. And after that, we thought, well, let's play some games. So we're going to have some board games and yard games to do after that.
Those are things you can't do by yourself.
No.
Unless you like to play solitaire.
And that's another area of interest. Maybe you used to love playing 500 or euchre, and your group, you don't have anybody left in your group that used to do that. So to connect those people and have them find other people that want to do those type of activities, again, it's just...
That sounds like a lot of fun.
I know.
What if I can't make it to the whole afternoon, or I can't make it that day because we're on vacation?
That's a good point. Still, what we encourage people to do is call the Senior Center at 232-5300. Tell them you're interested in the Friend of Friend program, and we'll be in contact with you to get you a survey and find out what areas of interest you have and how we're going to connect. Our goal also is to provide at least one social event once a month to bring everybody together again and connect those people. So in the long run, our goal is you and I both like going to the movies. What we'll do is try and connect each other. So say I want to go see the latest new release and I don't have anyone to go with, I would have your contact information and see if you're available that day.
Right. So that at some point you don't really need the Senior Center staff facilitating that, because you've developed a new group of friends.
Mm-hmm. It's just helping people develop that new group of friends. And
well, it sounds like an exciting time, and it's a new program, and we're really thankful to the Ladies Benevolent Society and the Oshkosh Community Foundation for making this possible, and we hope you'll join us. Again, if you want more information, please give us a call at 232-5300.
Otherwise, we hope to see you Tuesday, July 23rd at 1 o'clock at the South Building.
Well, thank you, Julie and Carrie, for taking the time to share a little bit about the Friend to Friend program. As I said, at the Senior Center, we're excited to be bringing on this program. We have wonderful dreams and hopes for ways in which it will help to enrich the lives of the people who participate at the Oshkosh Senior Center. I want to thank you for watching Senior Savvy, and if you don't know this, we are on YouTube now, so if you go to YouTube and just put Oshkosh, OCMS, in the search window, you should be able to find many of the programs that are available on City Cable Channel 10 on YouTube. And so it's just another great way to watch the programming that we have available. If there's a topic you would love to see featured on Senior Savvy, please just give me a call, 232 5306 and let me know. Leave a message if I'm not there. I would love to know what it is that you're looking for and what needs that I can help you with. Again, thanks for watching Senior Savvy. We appreciate it.